Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming back today, for your eyes only, it's IMAC 404 with Corviknights of the Round Table.
Thank you. Oh, actually, do you know what? It's actually been very strange that we have not had, I have not been on this show for what, nearly a month now? It feels weird, because, I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, by the way, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. Welcome back to me. Yes, I do have a chicken on my shoulder. There is an explanation to that in a second. Let me just get there. Okay. But yes, it feels very weird that I have not been here for a month. How have you been? Are you all right? Are you doing well? I hope you all are doing well. Well, say hello. Hello, Corviknight. Hello, Rillaboom. Urshifu and Incineroar back in the crowd once more. Hello, my fully animated Barrett.
Hello.
With his school table. He nicked from a local school.
Nice clean school table, I'll have you know.
They will not get it back.
No. They left it.
They left it outside, let's just be honest.
Yeah. I don't care if there was still kids coming in.
They left it outside and Barrett was like, that's a nice table.
I learned in school, you snooze, you lose.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Like,
they learned that lesson that day.
snitches get stitches.
Oh, God.
Snitches get sucker punched.
Well, talk about.
Anyway, I need to explain myself because, of course, yes, I am back and I need to fully explain where I have been for the past few episodes. So last time out, of course, Barrett had a fantastic episode with Captain Oro, which you can watch on YouTube and Spotify if you so desire. I got married. I got married to my other half, and then I got sick immediately after the wedding.
No.
Apparently, I think it was COVID, personally, but we didn't actually do a test, so we never could confirm it. But honest to God, I really, really felt like crap. And then immediately after I got sick, we went on our mini-moon. So that's where I've been, and the chicken is actually from Disneyland Paris, so that's where we ended up going. We were at Disneyland Paris because my other half is a Disney nut. And just for the record, I want this on record. I was the one who suggested going, not her.
like a good husband.
Like a good husband. Happy wife, happy life. That's what they say. Oh dear. But what have I actually missed since I've last been here on this show, like presenting to you, the folks either at home or at work or walking towards a location? I don't know how you watch this, like I'm not your mum. But Corviknight won. Woo! Corviknight is a winner. How cool is that? Corviknight is an actual regional winner, and to be fair, it's about time.
Yes.
Even though it was frozen for a bit, but we're not focusing on its frozen ability. I mean, you know, Charlie had a brilliant little skit that he put on Twitter about Corviknight being frozen and not being able to do anything. If you haven't checked that out, please do. He's hilarious. He's also the guy with the giant mouse ears who had a mousehold family. Charlie.
By the way, quick note.
Like,
they won't let me put that. I tried to edit that picture of him into an episode, and it just wouldn't let me.
No way.
It just wouldn't let me. I took a new picture and everything, and it was like, no.
Charlie
He
had to. Charlie did it. It's all Charlie.
From like with preventative measures.
Charlie knew this was going to happen.
He knew.
He did this himself. But no, obviously, Charlie, hilarious individual, fantastic commentator as well. But also, before we actually fully get into this episode tonight, there is a couple of things we have to go through and have to actually mention because, of course, Gdansk happened between the last episode and tonight. And there was something a bit special about Gdansk that's always actually going to be staying with us, I think, for a very, very long time. Special shout out to Simipor VGC, aka Max Waterman, and Bartek, who not only got top cut at Gdansk, but Bartek especially gave the London Corviknights a shout out.
What a lad!
What a lad! Gave us a shout out on day 2 when he was on stream. And then Max Simipor was on stream for his top 16 match. An amazing, amazing. Absolutely, it's still mind-blowing to me that happened. I'm still trying to process it personally. Simipour has been an amazing competitor and a brilliant person throughout these past few years, so he absolutely deserves the results he's getting recently. Like, he got top 8 in Lille, if I remember, and now he got top 16 in Gdansk. So I'm expecting, Simipour is going to go places. Like, I'm fully expecting Simipour next stream to be like top 4, and maybe, I don't know, he gets his own shirt that just crosses out top 16, top 8, top 4, final. Like, winner. Like a to-do list, if you will.
Yeah, that's just, if he opens up his notes.
Yeah, he just has a notes and he's just like deleting each individual little line. But obviously, Bartek as well, thank you so much for that shout out. You, sir, are an absolute legend, and I can absolutely say wholeheartedly how lovely it is to have you in our community. And you are a really good VGC player. Also, I should point out as well, Bartek is representing Poland for the Victory World Cup, and there is an absolute gorgeous photo of him on victoryroad.com. There's a lot of photos on there. If you look Jamie Boyd on the Victory World website, because he's one of the managers for the United Kingdom, he is seducing you with his eyes.
Oh, God, yeah. We were in the call.
Yeah.
And we were all...
like, oh,
like,
Jamie.
You're from round here, aren't
Jamie.
you?
Why are you staring at me with your Terror Electric Chen Pao? Oh, Jamie. What are you doing with your unorthodox team building? Is that
Jamie, what are you going to do against that tentacle? I don't know what you do against that tentacle.
Is that a physical raging bolt in your pocket? Sorry, ignore that. Ignore that. Yeah, he just brings out the raging bolt and he's like, actually, it is.
It is, yeah. Yeah, he goes, actually, I think you'll find it is.
It is. But anyway, so yeah, absolute amazing stuff. Thank you so much to Bartek for the shout out, but congratulations obviously to Simipour and Bartek for the performance they did. Oh my goodness, absolutely loved it, and everyone has just been so nice to the community, and obviously we want to give back to that, so we are working on stuff to get that going. Spoilers, no snort, Jim has been looking at doing a Corviknight League again. So he has been busy working on that. I need to catch up on him on that actually and see where we are with that. But also we are all thinking about more merch for you. We're going to try and get some of that sorted. God knows when that will be. But let's, focus on actual tonight's episode, shall we? By actually looking at some memes. That's how everyone starts the show, right? Everyone starts the show with some memes. So I'm starting off with this absolute banger from Chopper, who literally said the nasty plot animation should be your Pokemon rubbing its hands together and making this face. For anyone who's watching this on Spotify, it's like Dick Dastardly or any evil character realizing that they're about to go into their lair and get trapped. The little which, to be fair, I'm fully on board with. I think every Pokemon should have a look of like the disgusted looking Togepi gif. Or the evil Pikachu gif, or any Pokemon that's evil looking, just being like, oh yeah, I'm about to hit you. Think of it like this, right? Nasty plot Goldengo. Would you not laugh your head off to see Goldengo in the corner being like, oh, I'm gonna make it rain, boy. I got you now, boy. Like, everyone should want that. So yes, I absolutely fully agree with this. I think that'd be amazing. The other clip, it's not really a clip, it's more just an actual point of fact. Did you know Electabuzz winning in Gdansk and actually winning the Singapore PBL is the first 2 wins it's ever had at a regional?
Really?
Yeah.
Electabuzz
made history in Gdansk by winning. And it's now like Corviknight. That Regulation H has given us a lot of first-time winners. I've noticed, but well done, Electabuzz. Congratulations to you, buddy. I mean, I know you're a Pokemon and you're not real, but I can dream, damn it.
Well, I'm quite surprised that that is the case, that he's never gotten to a championship before, because I thought that he was quite used at some point, but maybe I'm just making that up.
Well, I remember Magmar was. So maybe we're all thinking about Magmar, or maybe Magmar's never actually done it.
Maybe he isn't, yeah.
Who knows? I don't actually remember off the top of my head personally, but yeah, seriously, well done, Electabuzz. Electabuzz in the corner, sticking its middle finger up at you, but you know.
I've used that guy, and he tried to put him.
Oh, you tried so hard.
He tried, and to be honest, it was a fun. It made a what's it called? Pokesports video.
Yes,
So,
yes, it did. Go check that out, by the way. Go check out Pokesports. They upload daily content using Pokemon that you might not actually think about using. Myself and Barrett have both had Pokemon featured on the channel, so you know. We are not rubbish at team building.
We've done stuff, guys.
We can do things.
Yeah, some people have hit number 1. We've been in a Pokeballs video.
Yeah, we've been there before, mate.
Yeah.
This is honestly quite cute. So basically, there's a Twitter page, a Twitter profile called Pokemon Wearing Sports Paraphernalia, and it is a Mudkip wearing Detroit Lions gear. So. Detroit Lions retweeted this, quote retweeted it, and actually just put, "So I heard you like lions." Like,
wait, we can't see anything, by the way.
Can you not? Seriously?
I cannot see anything.
Oh, you're kidding. Yeah, okay. Right. Let's start that again, shall we?
We'll start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning.
But while we're waiting, guys, here's some merch links for you if you'd like to have them.
I'm so sorry, everyone. Right, so here we go. Chopper's nasty plot animation should be your Pokemon rubbing his hand together and making its face.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go. Absolutely. I'm so sorry. I forgot to put that. But yeah.
To be fair, though, I did still get that, even without the reference.
Even without the reference. How good is that?
That's how iconic this is.
Right? But yes, I think this is absolutely true. I think this is an amazing little thing. I would love to see Goldengo rubbing his hands together. Like, you know, because it's already counting money, right? So, you know, it's like that villain song in Tom and Jerry where he's just like, money is such a wonderful thing.
Just imagine it. He's actually about to dive into a giant pile of coins.
Oh my god, he's Scrooge McDuck.
He's Scrooge McDuck.
Goldengo is Scrooge McDuck.
He's Scrooge McDuck.
Somebody needs to Photoshop that.
Why have I never seen that?
Why has no one ever done that? I love that.
We just invented Scrooge Goldengo.
Yes. Oh my god.
Goldengo.
Yes, I want that. Somebody do that, please.
It's Christmas, guys. It's Christmas.
Treat me. I don't know.
Wait. Okay. I think. Do we have to get Kai? Are we gonna have to ask Kai about this? Is he gonna? Are we gonna have Scrooge Mc? I'm actually gonna message him right now.
Oh, Kai,
live on
mate.
the show.
Anyway. But yes, also there you go. The actual Electabuzz stat of it winning Gdansk and the Singapore PBL. Again, congratulations Electabuzz on that one. And then this is it. So this is the Detroit Lions Mudkip. So this is a Twitter page called Pokemon Wearing Sports Paraphernalia. It's wearing a Detroit Lions hat and a shirt, and so the Detroit Lions actually quote retweeted this to say, "So I heard you like lions," instead of the "So I heard you like Mudkip" meme, which I thought was adorable. And well played by the Detroit Lions, actually, to do that. Also, the final post I wanted to just touch on. The Pope is a massive fan of Galarian Slowpoke.
What is this in reference to?
I don't know. I think it's just a meme of, like, you love something, right?
Yeah. Why is it Galarian Slowpoke?
I don't know, but, like, I'm in love with this. I think this is amazing. Just the little Slowpoke's face. Just, like, I mean, look at it. I'm just going to zoom in on the photo. I mean, look at it. It's just...
Yeah.
He's just a little chap. He's just a little chap.
Wait, it was perfectly positioned to make it look like he was really holding him in his hand.
Literally.
That's amazing.
I absolutely love it. So, yeah, that's my... those are the things that I found funny in between the last episode and this one. Yeah. I just thought it was brilliant, personally. I love it. Right. So... Obviously, those were the things that I found funny in the past week or so. Or, well, I say past week, it's been more like a past month, hasn't it? But now let's get on to the serious business, shall we? Let's talk about things that are coming up. This weekend, of course, is the first international championships. The LAIC is happening this weekend. Massive tournament for Regulation H. I believe it's the only one for Regulation H. That's going to happen for Scarlet and Violet, because if I remember correctly, EUIC is going to be Regulation G, which of course was the format for Worlds. So this is the only opportunity for players to sort of have a big understanding of what Regulation H is going to finish on. And if you're looking for like certain Pokemon to look out for, I could give you a quick rundown. So it's, you know, if if the team doesn't have a Sneasler on it, then what are they doing? Sneasler, Dragapult, Electabuzz, those we just mentioned as well, Goldengo, you know, Tatsugiri, Dondozo is still very prominent. There's a lot of Regulation H Pokemon that is going to be quite frequent. Rillaboom as well is another example. But I think what's going to be quite interesting is the fact that this is the only international this year for Regulation H. Expect like a lot of close matches, I reckon. I think this is going to be like the pinnacle of Regulation H. I think this is going to be, you know, the actual time where everyone's just going to come together and just be like, sod it, I'm just going to use what I know, I love, and see how it goes. Because Regulation H has actually been, I would say, quite varied. I would not actually say, like, oh, it's been the same 6 over and over again. Like, I fully believe that Regulation H has actually been one of the better formats in Scarlet and Violet. Which, I know that's going to be controversial for some people, because some people are going to be like, oh, well, actually, it's Regulation C, or D, or whatever. But I actually think Regulation H is really fun. And I know, Barrett, you've been saying as well, like, Regulation H has been quite fun.
I love it. I think it's the funnest format for a really long time.
Right? But it's also quite open, though. Like, because there has been, from what I've read on Victory Road, in between getting married and getting ill and going on my mini-moon, like, Top Cut Pokemon, like, it's not, like, as small as we're usually seeing. Yeah, as in the list of Pokemon that we see. The list is actually quite long. So, if you're looking for, like, LAIC advice, it would probably just be, like, don't go into it thinking that it's only going to be one archetype that's going to dominate. It's going to be interesting to see who actually comes out on top, because there are so many different archetypes at the moment, and no one really has a runaway winner. There has not been a runaway winner for Regulation H. It's similar to Regulation G with the first season of the Corviknights podcast. Whenever me and Barrett covered a regional, it's always been, oh, well, this Pokemon's won. Whereas last time it was, you know, say, for example, Calyrex Shadow Rider. And now it's Miraidon, and then it's Terrapagos, and then it's Zamazenta. There is a cycle happening. We're always seeing a circle. And who knows what actually Regulation H is going to throw up next. However, I am going to throw a Pokemon out there that I think people should pay attention to or look out for. And I know it's going to be a bit out of the box. I think Baxcalibur could have a bit of a good showing.
Ooh.
I honestly think Baxcalibur could do well at LAIC. That's just that's just me personally. If I'm right, I'm right. But if I'm wrong, then yeah, I'm wrong. So be on the lookout for Baxcalibur. I think Baxcalibur could be cool. But obviously, you know, we have stuff like Tyranitar and a lot of things that could probably counter it. Hello, Sneasler. How you doing? But I'm not worried about that. I am not worried about that at all. Like, I think, you know, when we look at things from the perspective, I think Baxcalibur has the potential to do well this weekend. And, you know, considering, what was it, Charlie said Frostmoth was going to get top cut in Worlds, I think I'm going to have a good chance.
Yeah, I think you do.
With all due respect.
I think you might be onto something there, actually, with the Baxcalibur. I have been seeing it popping up a little bit recently, and I think a well-played Baxcalibur can probably do quite a bit, especially the loaded dice stuff going on around at the moment.
I mean, you put it next to a Alolan Ninetales. Like, Alolan Ninetales with its snowballing ability boosts the defense of Baxcalibur. Yeah, like, loaded dice stuff. Like, you could terrestrialize out of your weakness. Like...
Yeah, it kind of does slot quite well into the meta right now, doesn't it? You know?
Exactly. I don't think Baxcalibur would be a bad pick, personally. Like, obviously, there's going to be so many things ahead of it. Annihilate, please stop. I get it. Like, but yes, LAIC is this weekend. Please be on the lookout for that. But also, of course, you know, there is still a few more regionals to cap off the year. There is also... you know, sign-ups happening very soon for things happening in early 2025. Birmingham, for example, being one of them. So be on the lookout for that. Obviously, if we can make it, we will be there. But if not, we will probably be at EUIC. So do not worry about that. But yes, I think LAIC is going to be a very fun event. Do look out for that. Also, actually, sorry, final thing regarding LAIC. Victory Road are doing, for the very first time, a broadcast in Spanish.
Oh, that's very
So
cool.
absolutely fantastic news. So if you are a Spanish speaking player, well, Spanish first, English second, which honestly I don't blame you. English is such a broken language. Victory Road will be doing a Spanish speaking stream for you, which honestly fantastic. I think the more accessibility we have regarding people watching Pokemon, the better, quite frankly. The fact that we've waited this long to get a Spanish speaking stream going, I think it's criminal. Obviously that might not be true. I might have just misremembered a few things, but I don't know. This is a live show. I can only go with what the notes have.
The idea that it hasn't been a regular occurrence, that it's been in multiple languages, is actually new to me. I always assumed that it was something that was always done, in every language, and we just only know the English version. But now I think about it, that doesn't really make any sense. Yeah, exactly. I think it is only in English. So good on Victory Road for being ahead of the curve.
Like, fantastic news. Also, just one last thing. Have you played Pokemon TCG Pocket? Seems as though everyone has been playing it, including yours truly. I did open packs while I was at Disneyland Paris. I had to do something while I was queuing.
Fair.
And also, right, I did not know this. Wiglet is exclusive to France. Wiglet, of all things, is exclusive to France. But it only appears on beaches.
Oh, Go.
And I was nowhere near a beach. I was on a boat at Disneyland Paris, but apparently that doesn't count. Yeah, thanks, Disney.
Do you reckon they're going to put Wiglets in ZA?
Yeah, actually, that's the core advertising of ZA.
Yeah,
it's not actually Zygarde, it's Wiglet.
Sure. Yeah.
You just see, like, the shape of Zygarde, like, shadow, and it just pops up and it's Wiglet. Like, wearing a palm frond or something, I don't know.
It's a Wiglet. He's got, like, the big arms, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Wiglet is literally just, like, grooving, and everyone's like, oh.
It's just 3 Wiglets.
Like, I mean, yeah, we're still waiting for any details coming out for Legend ZA, but of course, like, a lot of people are now suggesting that the reason why it's being delayed is, because the Nintendo Switch 2 hasn't been announced yet. But another reason is people think that it's actually because, they're trying to time it. So when ZA comes out, any Pokemon that's exclusive to ZA will be eligible for Scarlet and Violet VGC.
Well, I did actually realize that it's kind of coming out. If it comes out right at the time that people think it's going to come out, it's coming out during Reg G, which is actually the same time that the Legends Arceus games came out for Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
During it was Series 11, which was the first repeat. Well, it was the second repeat format, but that was right before the double restricted format, which is going to happen again this year, if that is the time.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they're giving people something to play while the repeat format is happening that they already know about.
I think that would actually be really funny. Can you imagine just going up to EUIC as a spectator? Like, everyone else is competing, like, in the VGC for Regulation G, and they're just like, so we have a format. It's called ZA. You and a friend could go sit in the corner and play Legend ZA together and battle on ZA while everyone else is doing Regulation G. And you've got all the Regulation G players like, oh, I've lost my oh, hang on, what's going on over there? And they just, like, peer over, and suddenly there's a bigger crowd watching a ZA match than the people watching Regulation G.
It's like that the meme where the guy puts when SpongeBob puts, like, the sign out on the store, and everyone shifts over.
Yeah, literally, really, like, he's got Reg G and then Legend ZA, and everyone's just going over to the other one. Like, yeah, obviously, like, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Obviously, we'll try and cover it when we learn more about it. But obviously, we can't at the moment because no one is saying anything. But as soon as we learn, we can talk about it, and we can probably do some predictions regarding ZA stuff, which actually would be quite interesting. But, tonight's conversation is slightly different. I'm actually calling this. So the question I asked you on Twitter and on Blue Sky and on Discord was, which Pokemon badly needs an upgrade? Now, this could either come into the form of an evolution, regional form, ability, or even an exclusive move that we've seen some Pokemon get. So I'm actually not calling this segment Pokemon that badly needs an upgrade. I'm now christening this segment, "Oh Lord, this Pokemon needs help."
Fair.
So I'm hoping there's like a banner.
Yeah, it just pops down.
Just a banner with, "Oh Lord, the Pokemon needs help." Right. So I asked you, of course, on Twitter, and I asked you here, and we've actually got quite a few selections to go through. And I don't know, maybe we could do like a top 5 based on people's opinion again, and then put it out to vote. I'll be interested to see. I've put down 5 Pokemon, but technically it's 8. That should give you a slight clue as what it is. But also, like, you know, actually, no, it's more than 8 that I've just realized now. But anyway, who cares? But also some Twitter selection from yourself. So actually, I want to go through the Twitter stuff first, and then I'll talk about the Pokemon that I personally picked for a Pokemon that needs help. I was looking at this from a VGC perspective, but I also think just in general, I think, you know, this Pokemon could do with a bit of like a kick, if you will. I make that sound as though they're about to take steroids. That's not what I'm trying to imply.
No.
They are all naturally supplemented
with the normal
means.
There was no genning of any illegal illicits.
Exactly. So I'm actually going to go through the Twitter selection first, and then we'll go through this. So first off, I wanted to talk about Nick, his selection, about what he thinks should be used. He said Seeking, which I thought was a really strong start, actually. I think Seeking is a really good suggestion, and I want to actually say what he wrote. So Nick wrote here, giving Seeking an evolution, and then he named it Superior.
Superior, interesting. Okay.
Or a Mega with Lightning Rod and a secondary typing like Electric, and I think it would be a good mon. I think that's quite interesting, because I think that's also another argument about why Lantern is not very good as well. Like, because I think you're talking about 2 different Pokemon, but they've both got the same problem. Like, they're both fish. They're
If they weren't both
the
fish,
first problem, right? They're both fish. But also, they're not really taking advantage of anything that's actually been given to them, right? Like, you know, Lantern being a water electric type is actually really good. Like, it's a very attackive typing, if you think about it. Like, yes, you're still weak to grass, and you're still weak to ground, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's right.
But, like, you've got water to cover the ground weakness. So yeah, it makes total sense. Plus, Seeking actually learns stuff like Drill Peck for some reason.
Yeah, well, it's just Gen 1. It's a Gen 1 moveset.
It doesn't make sense though, does it? I'm a fish, but I also have flying type moves.
It basically, in Pokemon, at one point, if the animators felt like that horn should be able to spin, then it can
spins.
Spin.
Like, yeah, they're literally just like, is that a horn? Make it spin.
It can spin now.
No, I'm serious. Make it spin. Like, look, you're either having the horn that spins, or you're deleting the horn.
Yeah.
There is no middle ground.
If it's gonna look like a drill bit, I'm gonna make it spin. Okay, it has to be like wedged in them, like
oh,
really
God, do you think he's
and it doesn't. Then it don't have to spin.
Yeah, do you think it's like a massive fan of You Spin Me Right Round?
Maybe.
Like,
maybe
he's like, listen to the song, and he's like, everything should spin.
That's it. Yeah, you've got it.
But no, honestly, I think it's completely fair. Like, Seeking and Lantern, I'm going to make the same argument here for Lantern. I think both of them either needs a regional form or an evolution. Because they don't really offer much to the table in terms of what is now expected from VGC. We've talked about this many times on the show. We've talked about it during the season 1 of the podcast, how there is definitely a power creep happening every generation in Pokemon. By which, if people don't know what power creep is, it's basically every generation, more and more powerful Pokemon come along and totally dominate the format and totally dominate the scene. You know, Gen 8 was pretty much Zacian, Calyrex, Regieleki. Like, there was reasons why there was nerfs that kicked in between 8 and 9. Whereas Generation 9, we've seen Pokemon like Goldengo, Sneasler, Fluttermane. Fluttermane has been everywhere. You know, Iron Hands, and well, Urshifu, especially during this generation, not so much last generation, but definitely Generation 9. Like, there is a reason why Urshifu and Iron Hands are back-to-back world champions. There's a reason why, if you look at the world champions list, you will see some very powerful legendary Pokemon or Paradox Pokemon, or just Pokemon in general. Like, there is no, like, middle ground between all of this. Like, a lot of people were saying, of course, and I kind of still agree with this, you know, they specifically brought Urshifu back just before Worlds so it can have a World Championship title. Whereas all of us were expecting it to be Palafin, like, you know, the super dolphin, who's not so super at the moment.
No.
That poor dolphin.
He'll come back. He'll come back.
You'll come back. Your revenge, Return of the Dolphin.
Palafin returns.
Palafin returns, and
The
it's
Dark
just...
Palafin.
Oh my god, yeah, Dark Palafin. Like, I mean, to be fair, there's a TCG card that makes it look like the Dark Knight, let's be honest.
Exactly.
So yeah, Seeking and Lantern, I absolutely forgot for a second, make perfect sense. Like, it really does. But, like, I think the problem is as well is that they need to have a niche now. Like, you can't just give it an evolution. Like, the evolution needs to be able to allow it to be a niche for something. Like, stats-wise, abilities, things like that. You can't just give a Pokemon an evolution and expect it to fit. Right, expect it to work. I have a fair few Pokemon on my list that definitely needs an evolution, new abilities, new moves, and oh my god, please blow it up. Like, so yeah, I think Seeking is a perfect pick. Thank you very much, Nick, for giving us that one. Next up, I want to talk about Rio's pick. Rio suggested Carnivine.
Yes.
Right?
For real.
I completely forgot this Pokemon existed.
Yeah, same. I always forget I remember that it's not even really originally a Pokemon. There's another monster in like Dragon Quest that is like literally exactly the same, and it's called Carnivine. It's not even a Pokemon.
I mean, what makes it really funny for me is the fact that I was playing Legends Arceus yesterday, and I walked past the Carnivine, and I literally still forgot about it.
You're like, oh, you're right, Carnivine.
Yeah, literally, it's just like, yeah, it's literally the neighbor you walk past, but you don't care.
Yeah, he's
like
good old Carnivine.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, Carnivine's here.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's all right.
Yeah. I never hurt no one.
His plants are annoying, but
yeah, he's a bit weird, but like,
a bit weird.
You know, he never hurt nobody.
There is nothing special about Carnivine.
Yeah, I feel quite bad for it now.
I feel quite bad for it. Like, design wise, it's not bad, but for like a Venus trap like plant,
that could have been so much cooler.
It could have been so much cooler. It could have been a lot better.
Nintendo have PT Piranha, right?
Yeah.
And they couldn't. There was no. That was it. They used up all the juice on that one thing.
Honestly, like, it's so bad. Like, from what I remember, its stats aren't very good. Its moveset is quite poor. Its abilities are quite mediocre. Or as the guy from Mad Max would say, mediocre. There you go. You get a joke out of it.
Nice.
Oh my god! I just realised we got Seeking, and I didn't make a pun about it. I was seeking a pun, and I didn't get it.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's all right. We fixed it. I'm fine. We're back on normal trail. But yeah, Carnivine, there's nothing going for it. Absolutely nothing going for it. Which is why I don't even think an evolution could fix it. Because it's a pure grass type, and pure grass is not good on its own. We've seen it in the past. Very few Pokemon have actually succeeded being a pure grass type. Rillaboom, I think, is actually probably one of the few Pokemon that's really benefited by just being a pure grass type. Like, everything else in history has proven that it needs something with it. Say, for example, Ogerpon, okay? Ogerpon was all right on its own as a grass type, but as soon as you change that mask to make it a grass water or a grass fire type, everyone was in love with it. Everyone was in love with our little ogre girl with the bonk stick. I think they even said that on stream. They were just like, oh, she's about to bonk someone.
Brilliant. That's right. That is what she does.
Yeah, she does. She literally does nothing else. I mean, maybe a spiky shield, but, you know, nobody cares about that. Everyone just cares for the bonking.
Yeah, go bonk him.
Bonk him. But yes, yes, a case in point, like, grass types in general, unless you've got a secondary type in next to you, history has shown that you don't actually have as much success as others. Amoonguss, for another example as well, like grass poison type. Like, Amoonguss has been one of the best supporting Pokemon in VGC history. But if it was a pure grass type, I don't think the same argument could be said. You know? I mean, if we seriously looked at each other and sat down and said, name me a grass type, a pure grass type that's been successful, I think we would be sitting down for a while and actually going through a list and thinking, I don't know. I mean, I know Superior has had a little bit of success, but that's a very niche thing, right? I think we should just agree that's niche. Like, James Boyd, I think, was very successful with Superior. And to be fair, it's James Boyd. Like, I'm pretty sure if you gave him, like, a literal squirrel, he would be like, yeah, I can make it get top cut.
He's like, well, you know, Focus Sash is like...
He's like, Focus Sash, Quick Attack, Endeavour.
Well, we don't need Jamie Boyd.
We just need the squirrel.
Yeah, we can get that squirrel.
Your use here is done, Jamie. So yes, Carnivine, an amazing pick. I just really struggle to think how the hell they're actually going to fix that, right? I don't think an evolution would particularly fix it. I think it needs to be an evolution and a change of typing.
I think Carnivine's ripe for having something weird like the Toad School treatment. You know what I mean?
Oh, good point. Yeah.
You know, it's quite pride for it. Like Diglett and Dugtrio haven't really done anything for ages. They could give it another evolution, but it's pretty iconic on its own. I think there probably are quite a few people who don't really want Carnivine to change because they're nostalgic for that position they had in the anime. So they give it the Meowth treatment, you know, like give it a bunch of forms or something like that. But they have to do something with it. They have to.
I think you make a really good point though, because yes, like you mentioned, Diglett and Dugtrio was too iconic that they didn't want to give it another regional form. They said, okay, we'll just create a new Pokemon, but it looks exactly like that. But like in terms of lore, for anyone who's a little bit struggling to understand why Wiglet and Diglett are classed as separate, is because in terms of lore, they're arguing as to who discovered what first. So, you know, Kanto being like, oh, well, we discovered Diglett. It's like, you know, Paldea's like, I don't like that name Diglett. This is clearly Wiglet.
Well, they're convergent species, aren't they? So they're like, it's implying that like, if you know, they're Great Tusk is a Dom fan of the past, there's another Pokemon that are like the Diglett of the past that are also the Wiglet of the past that have converged outwards at some point and become what they are. And there are actually some other Pokemon that might already be this, but in like weird ways, like Lapras and Caracosta, or maybe like actually more like Blastoise and Caracosta. Maybe like they could have like a similar parent. It's some way down the line, you know.
Yeah. I've only just sorry. As soon as you said Paradox Diglett, my mind just immediately went with, look over there, it's Great Mole.
Great
Mole.
It's the depiction of it with the big buff body.
Literally, like he
above ground.
Yeah, but he doesn't like to actually get out of the ground until he feels threatened.
Oh my god, that would actually be sick.
That would actually be like quite lore accurate, right? So you go up towards a Diglett, oh, that's cute, and then it's just like this Hulk Hogan looking guy.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh god, I'm gonna lose my limbs.
He's got anger still, but he just gets out of the ground.
Yeah, literally, just absolutely. He's it's a ground fighting type.
So cool. Oh wait. It's Great Tusk.
he is another Great Tusk.
But it's Great Tusk.
Great Tusk actually goes bipedal.
Ironically,
just shows off his six pack.
Yeah, it's actually ironically a fairy type.
Yeah. Also, like, just a little side note. Why does Great Tusk know Psyshock?
Does it?
It learns Psyshock.
That's so weird.
I just want to point that out. Why? Anyway,
why?
Absolutely so stumped. Right, we're moving on. That's a talk for another episode.
Scientists.
Right. Poker Replays messaged us on Twitter. Shout out to Poker Replays, by the way. Absolute fantastic, fantastic player and fantastic person. Poker Replays actually talked about Porygon Z, just simply because it's kind of fallen off the wagon in the last few generations, and I have to agree with that.
Go.
Okay, right. So the reason why I kind of agree is because, like, while Porygon Z has an amazing ability and like has such a wide move pool to sort of benefit what it needs to do, its speed stat is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, its speed stat is so middle of the road that it wouldn't be good at either Trick Room or like Hyper Offense. Something would need to be done for Porygon Z in order to actually, you know, benefit as either a sweeper or a Trick Room mon. And because of stuff like Ursaluna, Blood Moon, that's now, you know, in existence. And Paradox Mons, of course, and all these other great Pokemon have come along. except for you, Goldengo. You're just gross.
He's just mean.
You're just mean. You're mean. Go count your money in the corner or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
he's rich.
Yeah. Oh, mate, you look at him. He can afford a pint.
Today's society.
Yeah, today's society. Goldengo's the only one who can afford a pint. Political talk. We've got him. Yeah, I kind of do agree though. Like, I feel like Porygon Z, in order to like sort of come back into like the high end usage, we need to do something about it. Like, we do need to sort of like look at it and think, how can we? I mean, the problem might not necessarily be with Porygon Z. The problem might be the fact that we can't, at the moment in this generation at least, we can't build a team that works around it. Because the Pokemon that are available is just not compatible with it. And I think that's another good thing to talk about, is the fact that not every Pokemon in every generation is going to work in the format that is actually presented to, right? So, say for example, Dynamax Pokemon might have been really good in that Dynamax era, but when it comes to Terrestrialized era, not so much, right? And vice versa. So, you know, Urshifu is a good example. In the Dynamax era, no. Yes, of course it did. You know, I think it got to a Players' Cup final or something, but like people
won Players' Cups, yeah.
Yeah, but like Urshifu was never supposed to be used in a Dynamax format. Like it wasn't supposed to be your Dynamax Mon. Whereas in Generation 9, Urshifu's everywhere.
Yeah. Like
Urshifu is probably, I think at one point it was 60% usage for Urshifu Rapid Strike and Urshifu Single Strike. I mean, I'm guilty. I used Urshifu Single Strike at Liverpool.
Ooh.
KD did the same thing and finished 13th.
There we go.
Like, so yeah, like I feel like, you know, the talk with Porygon Z isn't necessarily just about Porygon Z. I think it's about Pokemon that have really just struggled in the format that it's in. Another Pokemon I could say to you that actually I think is quite relevant to this is Aegislash.
Yes.
Because everyone loved Aegislash in Gen 6. I loved Aegislash. I still love Aegislash. I brought a plush of Aegislash recently, and I looked at it and just went, oh, I wish you were better.
It'd probably be quite, if it wasn't for Goldengo, it'd probably be quite good now.
I reckon if it was in Gen 9, it could actually make some noise.
Yeah, it could be pretty good.
Weakness policy Aegislash, I think, would have actually been quite dangerous.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, actually.
Can you imagine that? Just, you know, being able to actually get super effective hit on it, but it's still in its shield form, so it hardly takes damage. Weakness policy activates, and you could go absolutely crazy with it. Like, I think Aegislash actually would have been quite good in this generation. Maybe not against Ursaluna and Ursaluna Blood Moon. And maybe Goldengo. Maybe Incineroar. Maybe Fluttermane. No, it can take on Fluttermane.
It might be able to.
Maybe.
With that attack.
Miraidon.
That'd be good.
That'd be difficult, yeah. I am a Aegislash enjoyer, and I am not changing that.
Aegislash would have kind of gone pretty good into the Calyrex Shadow Rider.
Oh, yeah. See, stuff. Now that's why we needed it. Like, yeah, because like it
would have been able to do Terra Fairy stuff in front of a Aegislash.
Oh, that'd be quite funny, actually.
It's interesting, isn't it?
That would actually be quite funny. Just like, oh, hello, Aegislash, I'm a fairy now. And Aegislash is like, oh, that's cute.
Oh, is it?
Flash cannon.
Yeah.
But yes, like, I think Aegislash and Porygon Z probably have the same problem. In the fact that the format that the game that they are in, it's just not benefiting from what that actual game is trying to give you. And I think if you're ever thinking about if you're new to VGC, by the way, you should join the London Corviknights if you are. We've got team builders. But if you are new to VGC, it is important to think about these things, because your favorite Pokemon from your, like, you know, happy little playthrough might not actually be beneficial for when you actually wanted to be competitive about it. But it could be in the next game or the previous game. That's always sort of crazy to think about. And yes, a lot of Pokemon have benefited from the change of generation, and Pokemon haven't. It's natural. It's the natural gist of it. Like, and I don't think we should be... Yeah, I don't think we should be shying away from it. I really don't. By the way, also, if you are listening to this on Spotify, or you're watching this on YouTube, or you're watching this live on Twitch, by the way, which is what we're doing at the moment, you know, Barrett is currently chatting with the live chat at the moment, asking suggestions and things like that, talking to the chat. If you have a suggestion, by all means, let us know. We would love to know your suggestions and like talk about it in a future episode, because I think there is so many different Pokemon out there that actually could fall into this talk. In the oh lord, that Pokemon needs help.
Yes.
Right, moving on, because I have noticed time, and I did go on a bit of a tangent there. Silent Mertia, I want to say. I'm so sorry if I just butchered your name. I know you're in the London Corviknight Discord, so I'll apologise to you later. Nidoking and Nidoqueen and Drapion. I'm very surprised that people have forgotten about these.
I think Nidoking's a banging Pokemon and always has been, right? Like,
Sheer Force is ridiculous.
But imagine how great it would be right now. Imagine if we could like switch it into a Fluttermane back in like Reg C. That would have been amazing.
Honestly, I think that's the reason why Nidoking is not in this generation.
Just so the Fluttermane.
Just because to allow the new Pokemon to actually flourish. Because you are so right. Nidoking and Nidoqueen are amazing Pokemon.
Yeah.
In this generation, if they were in Gen 9, they would absolutely be sweeping.
Yeah.
Right? The movesets that they have, the sheer force ability, Life Orb, right?
Oh, it would have gone so well into Glamora. Like, the Glamora, like the whole Glamora line with the Dondozo teams and the Toxic Spikes, if it was in the game, that wouldn't have happened.
I'm going to give you a list of Pokemon that it would easily defeat.
Go
right? Miraidon, Fluttermane, Iron Hands, Ogre Rillaboom, Incineroar. Like, all of these top Pokemon, done.
Crazy. That is so crazy, yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure Nidoking and Nidoqueen could probably beat Luca's World Championship team. I really am not joking now.
Yeah, because he had like, with the Valiant and that, like, no, it wasn't Valiant. Yeah, Valiant.
that was the runner-up.
That was the runner-up.
But I mean, Iron Valiant's another one it could probably beat.
Yeah, it would have taken. Yeah, I mean, that would have had a chance. Yeah.
Like, I really struggle to think of a Pokemon in Generation 9 that can actually like 1v1 Nidoking.
Like Primarina in now as well.
Yeah. Like Terrestrialization, just get out of the weakness and absolutely just raise hell.
It'd be crazy. It'd be like the ground, the types right now, really, in my mind, are like the very up there ones are like Artudon and Blood Moon Ursaluna. They like have consistently been like very good Pokemon since the beginning. And Nidoking would be up there, 100%.
So let me actually just point out what they actually said, just to give a bit of context, because we've just literally just praised them for about 2 minutes. No. Nidoking and Nidoqueen need a regional variant and a little buff. Drapion regional form into a bug dragon would be nice as well.
Yes, that'd be well cool.
That would be cool. I do agree with the Drapion sort of argument. I think the argument there is more about the fact that Dark Poison is just not as good as people think it is.
No, it's weird. Actually,
it's really weird. It's so weird considering the only weakness this has is ground. But the Pokemon that are Dark Poison types, they don't really do much, do they?
Yeah, it could definitely do with having a good type representing it, actually. No, sorry, good Pokemon representing that type combo, yeah.
Yeah, because I think you've got Stuntank or the Pokemon that literally farts, Skuntank.
Yeah, great.
Like, how's it going, Skuntank? Oh, okay, fair enough.
Oh, gunshot. Oh,
no, yeah, fuck. Stinks in here, mate. But yes, I think I understand where they're coming from about the fact that, could do with a little buff. Because the stats of Nidoking and Nidoqueen have always been slightly, below average now. They're still doing a hell of a lot of damage, which is probably why they've never been given that buff. Considering, yes, like Stab, Life Orb, Sheer Force. Oh my god, that's gross. Like, especially, I want to say Nidoqueen was a seniors division winner a few years ago as well at Worlds. So, they've always been quite dangerous. They've always been, up there in terms of, damage output. It's the Landorus without the legendary sort of aspect to it. But, like, I do think, if Nidoking and Nidoqueen were seriously in Generation 9, I think the conversation of them would be very different.
Yeah. They'd be, like, it'd be considered as a thing that you need to counter.
It'll just be too gross, right? Like, we would literally be sitting there being like, oh, ban Nidoking and Nidoqueen, please. Like, especially, oh my god, I've just thought, right? Especially in a doubles format, right? Where a Mungus or a Follow Me user can just take the hits and Nidoking and Nidoqueen could just sweep the team.
Oh, well, yeah, that'd be so funny. I mean, like, yeah, like having a Mungus next to it in front of like Urshifu and stuff, which is like no problem. Like,
Exactly.
just go down.
Rocky Helmet, Terra Dragon, and Didi.
You could just go Sludge Wave next to a Mungus, and it wouldn't even do that much damage.
Oh my word, yes.
That's so funny.
That
and
is
it would
so
just
gross.
destroy. No poison like problem or anything like that, you know?
Like, oh, are you worried about like Intimidate or like Flame Body? Oh, just Earth Power.
Yeah.
Like, I think, yeah, because Nidoqueen was always the special attacker Sheer Force user.
And
Nidoking was always like the physical attacker Sheer Force user, if I remember correctly.
I think that Nidoking does have higher attack.
Yes.
But the Sheer Force drop means that it could run anything. It could run like special attacks and it still does ridiculous damage. So yeah, it does too much.
But it does bring up a really good point. I mean, I do agree slightly with the buffs, but I do think Nidoking and Nidoqueen, especially when they're in this generation, would just be too powerful.
Yeah.
Like,
I definitely think that some of the problems with, like, for example, Porygon Z is another example of this, where it's like, it's not necessarily that they're bad. It's just that the format hasn't been right for them yet. Like you were saying, you know, like if they existed in this format, then we wouldn't be having this discussion. Whereas Porygon Z, like back in, you know, Generation 8, it had a time, but it's just that format wasn't very long and didn't get that much of an opportunity to really do much. So it could happen. It could happen again in the future with like a different format, depending on whatever the gimmick is and everything. But yeah, they definitely purposely didn't put Nidoking and Nidoqueen in the game this time.
Exactly. Like, I 100% agree with you. I think, you know, I would be interested to see what they do in the future for Nidoking and Nidoqueen, though.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if it's definitely a format where it's not going to be something crazy like Dynamax or Mega Evolution, I think Nidoking and Nidoqueen could do something. Like, especially with these Pokemon that are top threats at the moment. Like, if they continue being that top threat, expect more Nidoking and Nidoqueen action in your VGC lives. I would definitely be more than happy to use a Nidoking team or a Nidoqueen team and just see what happens. Like, I think that'd be hilariously fun. Right, 2 more to go from the Twitter selections, and then we'll go through my list. So Shortbread Dread had an interesting one, which I thought was quite interesting. So Shortbread Dread pointed out Marwile and Burnett, but he was saying the Mega Evolution forms should have actually just been their actual, like, Mega forms. Their actual evolution forms.
Yeah.
I agree with this.
I think so too.
Like, because without the Mega Evolutions, they're useless. Especially Marwile. Like, Mega Marwile, its Mega was literally the only thing that Marwile had going for it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, everyone now is like, oh, Marwile, oh.
It'd be cool if they ended up somehow getting it in, even if they didn't really want to bring, like, Mega Evolution back, but they would just, like, there are certain Pokemon in the game now that had a Mega Evolution that when you send it out, they can just Mega Evolve immediately.
Yes.
It doesn't count as anything. It's just that, you know, now Mega Marwile is just in the game. You know, I think that'd be really cool. If
it needs it, though. Like, because Marwile is so underwhelming, like, just by itself. I mean, a lot of people think it's ugly. Like, a lot of people don't like it because of the way it looks. But it's a Fairy Steel type.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Fairy Steel's ridiculous. Like, it's one of the best typings, if not the best typing in Pokemon. Like, you know, being resistant to poison, which is supposed to be a weakness to Fairy, and then being resistant to Dragon, like, taking no damage from them two. Like, it's brilliant. It honestly is quite good. But also, I think it is a good point because, in a way, because they haven't used Mega Evolution since Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, 12 years ago now? It's kind of wasted. Like, I think that's a problem with these gimmicks, is the fact that, like, because they haven't brought them back, there's just no point to them.
Do you know what? I just realized that, like, you know, we talk about, like, how we really love for, like, these certain Pokemon to be back in the game, but we don't really want, like, other Pokemon back. But I don't even think, like, Mega Salamence is even, like, that broken anymore in comparison to, like, normal Pokemon.
To what we see now, Mega Salamence fits in perfectly.
like Bergus Alamus is taking 50% from surging strikes. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, literally. It's just, oh, that's cool. Like,
Yeah, well, it's a 2-hit KO. It's just a regular Pokemon at that point, then, isn't
and yet
it? Like,
Primarina's here.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I think that there's probably some room for them to come back, probably as like normal Pokemon, all of them almost. Maybe I don't know. It might not be.
I mean,
feel right, but yeah.
Put it this way: if Ash Ketchum in the final series of Pokemon was allowed to use Dynamax, Z moves, Mega Evolution,
Yeah.
like if he was allowed to use all of that, then surely in a VGC standpoint, we should be able to do the same.
Yeah, well, he's playing dirty singles.
I mean, yeah, no, he is playing dirty singles. Like, I'm sorry,
anything goes.
I do apologize, VGC singles players, but please stop. You're giving us a bad name.
It's going too far.
Enjoy your 2-hour match, like with 50 bajillion turns, because you keep switching into toxic spikes. Like, I didn't get my stealth rocks turn 1. Like, I'll quit the match right now.
Get done.
I'm done. But no, I do agree with Shortbread Red. I think Marwell and Burnett especially should have been able to keep or get an evolution to replace their megas, because they don't actually really offer anything special, without them. Especially Marwell. Like, Marwell's literally, I need that for my decks, and that's it now. Which is such a shame, because I think Marwell's got potential. Like, 100% Marwell's got potential. Like, quite a few Pokemon that got Mega Evolutions needed that. I would actually point out Steelix. I would make the argument to get Steelix into that conversation about evolution.
I don't know.
Only because, cool. Like, I'm a massive Steelix fan, and I would like it to be good.
That would be cool, and I'd love to see like Mega Steelix come back. That'd be cool.
Can you imagine if they bring out like Mega Torkoal or something? Just like make my eruptions bigger.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about like, what would it still have drought? Because that'd be cool.
Could it be like Groundhog's Drought?
Yeah. Oh my god, did they just give it Desolate Land? Like,
just this little tiny turtle.
It doesn't actually change in any other way. It looks exactly the same. It's just Mega Evolved and it's Desolate Land now.
Oh my god, can you make it like, so it's Mega Evolution, it's just Torkoal on 2 legs looking like a really pissed off turtle?
It's exactly the same, but it's just got massive aura.
Oh my god, yes. Because then you can have
Super Saiyan level aura.
Yeah, it's like, what does the Scouter say about that Torkoal?
Yeah,
it's like, oh, it's Megad. Oh dear. Its attack power is over 9,000 and everyone's like, there you go, Dragon Ball Z moves.
That Specs Eruption do be like that in the Desolate Land.
Specs Eruption do be like that. I want that on the official record.
Yes.
Like, amazing. So yeah, thank you, Shortbread Dread, for that one as well. I fully agree with that. Also, sorry, I did forget to mention, he did also mention Mighty Enna.
Oh, cool.
Which, yeah, actually, Mighty Enna. I think...
Desperate for...
I think a lot of those sort of, like, early route Pokemon could be its own category.
What, you mean like the Lanoons of the world? I mean, if they gave it the Lanoon treatment and they gave it like, because like, Obstagoon's one of the coolest Pokemon, I think.
Obstagoon is so good. Its shiny is amazing.
It's so cool, man.
It's so cool.
It's actually, I got it in my playthrough by mistake.
Oh, well done.
I didn't know it existed, and it just evolved. And I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. It's so, we had a couple of times during that time, like when Danny saw Cinderace for the first time when it evolved, and she was like thoroughly disappointed. She was like, oh, he's a football player. But when I saw Obstagoon, I was like, this redeems everything.
This redeems everything. I love that. Like, no, but you're right. Like, yeah, early route Pokemon in general are kind of designed to be slightly underwhelming, right?
Yeah.
Fearow, for example, that's a good one. Swallow, like most birds, probably.
Yeah, they could all get
do with
that.
I mean, other than Corviknight, obviously.
Exactly. Okay, except for Corviknight.
I actually saw a post where someone was like, you can only keep one bird, and it had like all the regional birds on it, and somebody was like, obviously Staraptor. And I was so close to just typing up, being like, actually, Corviknight has one regional.
Yeah. Oh, what's it? You don't know. Staraptor's Intimidate, Mirror Armor.
Staraptor cannot Iron Defense Body Press.
Yeah, it actually is.
You scrub.
I think it actually is the best bird. It is the best one, isn't it?
Corviknight
It's
is
the
best
only
bird.
one that doesn't really need any help.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like a Corviknight literally could just stand there and just be like, hello, how
He
was your
literally
day?
did that and won.
He literally did that and won. He was frozen as well.
There's a clip of it.
Corviknight is best bird. There was no argument about that.
People who says Staraptor Final Gambit is my counter argument, and I think, to be fair, that's a counter to quite a few things. So yeah, good. fair. You're right. Yeah.
Staraptor is not a good bird. I'm saying that now, and that is my opinion and my opinion only. So you can't sue the London Corviknights for that.
No, we've got no liability.
We have no liability for my opinions. Sorry, everyone. Also, final suggestion came from Westy VGC. He said Sneasler.
What? Wrong. Get out.
So, hang on. Let me find what he said, because it honestly was quite funny. Definitely Sneasler. 50% status is not high enough, and its ability should be scrappy to get to beat Goldengo. Yes, obviously 50% usage is way too low. Like, yeah. I think we need to pump those numbers higher.
Let's flood
those
those
are rookie numbers, Sneasler. Oh dear. But yeah, I thought that was quite amusing to finish off on the Twitter. But shout out to Westy for giving us that suggestion, and honestly, it did make me laugh when I read that. Like, can you imagine actually just like 50%, 75% sort of like chance to inflict a status condition?
I mean, the thing is, if you put poison point on, it's 66 or something. So that's not even that far. That is real.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine if they did that for Tri Attack? Like,
that'd be so cool.
Wouldn't that just make Porygon 2 like the biggest threat going?
Damn, actually no, that's broken. Here's me like being all like, oh yeah, Magneton or Magnezone would be really cool if it had like
Porygon 2.
No, Porygon 2. Yeah. no,
Quack.
I don't like that game. Porygon Z though. Now we're getting
somewhere. Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. Like, there you go. We've just picked Porygon Z. Make Tri Attack.
Yeah, it's got poison point for Tri Attack, but with like paralysis.
Poison point for Tri Attack.
Just to be like really obnoxious. It's for paralysis.
It turns out the little thing on top of Porygon Z's head is a drill.
Yeah, because obviously they saw it there and they were like, "Oh, if that looks like it spins,
that's a drill. It spins. That's definitely a spinning drill."
It's not it.
Like, I'm not lying. Oh dear. Right. So that was all of the Twitter suggestions. Thank you so much for everyone who let us know on Twitter. Now I'm going to go through my list. Barrett has not actually heard any of these, by the way.
No.
So Barrett is literally getting like first time experience, first time reactions to my suggestions. So I actually I'm just going to get this out the way because I'm kind of curious to see what Barrett thinks about this one. Mm-hmm. Ledian.
Oh yeah, like 1,000,000%.
What the heck is Ledian?
That is the most. People say that Lumillion is the most forgettable Pokemon of all time, but that's actually really good in the TCG.
Honestly, I can think of one Pokemon that's more forgettable than the both of them combined.
Oh.
Which I will point out just after we speak about Ledian.
Oh, okay, right. Well, I will say that Ledian is it was until apparently a few minutes time the epitome of forgettable Pokemon to me, and it is a shame. And the only reason it's so bad is because it has just no stats.
Yeah.
It just doesn't do, and it doesn't do
anything.
It hasn't any moves or any stats.
Doesn't have moves, doesn't have stats. Its typing is terrible. It can't do anything. Like,
it's not even in any game.
No. And that's why, because no one wants to use it. You literally get Ledian to be like, oh god, you exist. It's a punishment. Like, but no, honestly, I was looking at my list of Pokemon and I was like, the heck, what does Ledian even do? Like, but then I was literally just like, how do we fix it then? And it's like, well, you're gonna have to either give it an evolution that gives it like the sizzle treatment. Where it's like, oh, okay, so it's a really cool technician type with lots of moves, which could work.
Yeah. But
at the same time, it's like, but you're such a waste of space. Like, do you even deserve it?
Well, imagine if it had like, if it was like ever evolved to be like bug fighting, and it had like technician bullet punch.
And then we're talking.
That's pretty cool. If it had like good enough stats, and it maybe hit a weird speed tier, like it was like 60 speed.
Yeah.
You know, like Oh, right, that's pretty much what Sizzle is. Isn't it?
Oh my god, we've literally just quoted.
We're just
yeah,
describing Sizzle.
it's just Sizzle. Like
Yeah,
Ledian's evolution is just Sizzle.
Fighting Sizzle, please.
Do you know what it is? It's the Batman and Robin sort of thing. Like Sizzle is the Batman, Ledian is the Robin.
That would be so. That's what they need to do.
Yeah,
they need to make that the thing. Yes, thank you.
Law accurate Ledian is I'm the Robin to the Batman. I mean, he has to be like the 1960s Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, holy smokes, Sizzle. Like it looks like Grimsnarl's trying to rob the bank again.
Too many jokers there, Ledian.
What are you talking about, Batman? The Batman's just like, Grimsnarl poisoned the tea.
Yeah.
But incredible, honestly.
He's actually quite that. You picked a good villain Pokemon, but like a playful villain.
Oh yeah, he's a playful villain.
Yeah.
Like Grimstar. I mean, to be fair, if you've got prankster as an ability, you are a playful villain.
Yeah, he's a playful villain, but like, he's actually such a supportive king.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like there's a reason why Captain Oro, his favorite Pokemon is Grimmsnarl.
Exactly.
Like because it could do everything. It could do anything for you. But here's the Pokemon that I know that people are literally going to be like, oh yeah, that exists. Wormadam.
Oh yeah.
Right, actually, before I even talk about Wormadam, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to actually type into Google Wormadam so you know exactly what I'm talking about, because I know for a fact most of you have forgotten about it.
I also, by the way, and if you think you're thinking of Wormadam, no, you're not. You're thinking of Burmy.
You're thinking of Burmy, which is just
You're
as
not
bad.
thinking of Wormadam. If you Google Wormadam, you'll realise how wrong you are.
Oh my god, what is the point in Wormadam? Like, literally, I think Wormadam might actually be the worst Pokemon ever to exist in the history of Pokemon. And they gave it multiple forms. There's multiple Wormadams, Barrett.
All it has.
It's like, what? It's like bug grass, bug ground, bug I don't care because it's stupid. Yeah, it's like bug steel. It's like, why do we have a bug steel Wormadam?
More like bugger off.
Literally, it's like, just bugger off. Honestly, Wormadam is the worst thing in the world. There are people on the internet who praise like anything more than this Pokemon, and I'm sorry, I'm so frustrated about this thing. Like, it's actually winding me up. Like, there is literally no point to Wormadam. Not anything about Wormadam is redeemable. Like, it's got no moves. Its abilities are shocking. I don't care if you've got like shield cloak or whatever to like dust yourself from sand and all of that. That's nice. Like, literally nothing is going well for it. I don't even think a regional form could fix this. Like, literally, you would have to look at Wormadam and basically, I don't know, give it like the shell gone into Salamence treatment, where it's like, oh, it's in a cocoon, and when it hatches, it turns into this super cool, really powerful thing. Right? That is literally the only thing I can think of to redeem Wormadam.
Well, because there is actually a weird... Burmy evolves into a different Pokemon as well, right?
Yeah, he evolves into Motham. Which I will get onto, by the way. Motham has not got away with this.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I'm so sorry to get ahead of you.
Like, yes. Like, oh, sorry, I've just seen Cricketune in the chat. That's hilarious. Yeah. Should have thought about that.
Diddly woo.
Which is actually just a jingle for a radio.
That's what we should have.
That's what we should have. Cricketune.
90210 Corviknight Radio.
Corviknight Radio. Now I want that to be a thing.
Yeah, we're going to do that. We're doing that.
But like, yeah, Wormadam, there's literally nothing redeeming about it. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing cool about it. There's nothing worth having it. Literally, the only redeeming quality for Wormadam is potentially... It's honestly, I would compare Carbink to Wormadam. Like, because Carbink should evolve into something. And should have evolved into a Diancie, but they turned that into a mythical, which I still to this day disagree. Like, Diancie should never have been a mythical. Like, because Carbink is then just useless. Or,
they're doing it for the lore, aren't
yeah, exactly. They're doing it for the lore. Or you make Carbink evolve into something else, right?
Yes.
That's probably could have happened. Wormadam could have easily just been doing that. Like, Wormadam is the middle stage into something that evolves, which is super cool. Like, and super powerful, super strong. But no. We need to look at this thing and be like, oh, you're cool. No, you're not. You're literally the thing I wish you didn't exist. I hate Wormadam so much. Probably the worst that I can ever think of. But anyway, we're going to move on to something a bit more positive. Okay, I'm gonna look at my list. I'm gonna think of oh, it's the Lake Trio. Oh god damn it!
Not again.
Not
What?
again. I put the Lake Trio on this list. Can you have a guess why?
Is it because they're crap and they're just the
Is
regular
that
versions?
rubbish? They are a worse Cresselia and they come from the same gen. That's what I don't get.
Did you hear? It turns out they're intrinsical to the creation of the entire Pokemon universe, according to random
But they're
stuff.
all psychic types and they're all boring and they all can't do anything.
And they're on the same level as like
And they're on the
like Gyarados or something.
Yeah, and it's like we're the Lake Trio. We're 3 psychic types with Levitate. Oh, hi Cresselia.
They definitely had a chance already to do something about that, and they kind of didn't. They were like, well, hey, it's got a new psychic move.
Yes. Like, I mean, there's so many Pokemon that we could just bring up on this list, but honestly, there is a reason why I brought up the Lake Trio. Not because we've already talked about them before in the worst legendary list, right? But I am still adamant that they should not have been psychic types. I'm still adamant they should all have been water types and then had a secondary typing variant, right? So they could have been water psychic, water grass, water electric. Like,
Yeah.
I think that would have been perfect for the Lake Trio. But no, we have to have 3 psychic types in which there is nothing interesting about them. Their shiny suck. Cresselia is literally doing their job for them and does it better, by the way. Like, the Lake Trio literally bring nothing to the table. It's a lore Pokemon. Like, but it's not even, I don't think it works, because if you're a Lake Guardian, why aren't you a water type?
Well, I mean, the lake aspect of the lore, I think, is kind of like a bit jammed in. They just needed a place for them to be in the game, but they're supposed to be like about will and like stuff like that. But they don't really talk about that, and they don't have anything about them that make them that either. Like, give them unique abilities to do with the fact that they are those things. Like, one of them should have like the ability like willpower. One of them should have the ability like, of like knowledge or something.
Give them something like Beast Boost, but rename it so it's Lake Trio lore orientated, right?
Yeah.
So, like, example, if you're talking about like Faith, like give the one that's supposed to represent Faith a boost in, say, like speed or special attack or something defensive, right?
Or here's an idea, right? It's a bit like the Ruinous Skies.
Oh, good point. Yes.
But the other way around.
Yes.
It's increasing the stat.
Oh my god, that's such a good. Yes, that's such a good point. That is such a good point.
Let's say, for example, it's like one raises your special attack, one raises your attack, and one raises the speed. But the speed would be a bit weird because it would only matter when other Lake Trio Pokemon are on the field because they're not affected by the ability or something like that. So it creates this weird thing where it's the counter to, like, one of them is the counter to the other 2.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. They need to make that.
They do. And honestly, I think the Lake Trio would be a perfect, like, template for that.
Yes, that would be really cool.
Because I think, honestly, it's such a joke. Like, there is a reason why we nominated Lake Trio for the worst legendaries. And honestly, I think they won it.
Yeah, they did.
They did win it, didn't they?
They won the popular vote.
They won the popular vote.
And by that, I mean the unpopular vote.
Yeah, they won the popular vote by being unpopular.
By losing.
By being rubbish. Yeah, Lake Trio, what are you doing? Like, honestly, fix yourselves. And I despise it, Barrett. I really do. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed we've been talking a lot about Gen 4?
Yeah.
Despite the fact we're like, Gen 4 is supposed to be the most respected generation.
Is it? I think it's like the most hated, except for
really?
people who started playing Pokemon in Gen 4.
Ah, see, I thought it was Gen 5 that was the most hated.
Oh, I think that's the most controversial.
It is controversial. Actually, speaking about Generation 5, my next entry, my next nomination, this pains me to say this, because I am a massive fan of this certain Pokemon. We need to talk about Cryogonal.
Oh, what? He doesn't need it.
He needs it, Barrett.
I got destroyed by Cryogonal the other day. I don't even. And it was it's done. It's got results recently, right?
Oh, no, he hasn't, Barrett.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that someone saw it on a day 2 recently.
Okay, if you seriously tell me that Cryogonal, if you can prove it to me within the next 5 minutes that Cryogonal got day 2, I will happily take Cryogonal off this list.
I think that I don't know if it was just that people were.
The reason why I said Cryogonal is simply because you flick it, it dies.
Yeah.
It's the most fragile thing. But that's also an argument like for ice types in general. Ice types in general are not notoriously known to be strong, like to actually last long. Obviously, Ninetales and the reworking of how ice works has benefited ice types. But like Kragonal's base stats is, as someone who has used Kragonal quite a lot in the past, Kragonal will struggle. Like, the only benefit for Kragonal really that I have seen recently is either you go full ham and you say Terra Ice Blizzards, or you go Terra Water to try and actually get rid of some of your weaknesses. I think Kragonal's got like a 35 base defense. So it's literally, you could bump into Kragonal and it will be going to the hospital. Like, I'm pretty sure if you just nudged it a little bit, Kragonal will literally be like, I broke my arm.
To be fair, it is a snowflake.
It's literally a snowflake.
It's just literally a snowflake, and it's crying, bro.
Yeah, and it's crying. Oh my god.
But I've got something that'll make it feel a little bit better. Congratulations, Stephen Brown III, for coming in 73rd place at the Louisville Regional on the 12th of October this year. I was right.
Okay, right. Kragonal's off the list.
There we go. Thank you, Stephen Brown.
Thank you. You've just made my week. Like,
the team, by the way, guys, the team is Goldengo, Garchomp, Cryogonal, Talonflame, Tyranitar, and Gastrodon.
I need to play this team. Immediately, I need to play this team.
It actually kind of makes sense. Cryogonal.
It does.
Makes it a Talonflame. With the Tyranitar as well, to switch in.
That's quite good. Yeah, no, I need to play this team. This team is now my team. I'm nicking it. Thank you.
Go for it.
I'm going to a local with this team now.
Legend.
Oh my god, Kragonal come back. Like, that's what we're doing. Anyway, so Kragonal's off the list. There's two more, and then that'll be the end of this segment. I know this has been a particularly longer episode than what was planned. But Corviknight of the Round Table discussions usually end up being slightly longer.
They are a bit longer, yeah.
Right. I've literally written here, and it'll be interesting to see if people agree or disagree with me. All moths not named Volcarona.
Oh my god. You really did get to it, and yeah.
Right? I literally think any moth that's not Volcarona needs to get like a bit of a change or a bit of an upgrade. Right?
That's so true, yeah. Everyone.
All the moths I'm looking at you, Venomoth, especially.
We need to, next episode, can we just do a tier list of how good all the moths are?
Yeah, can we do a moth tier list?
We've just got the Volcarona tier, and then all the rest that because I think they are varying degree. They're weirdly enough, they're all trying to get up there like a moth to a flame. Like a moth to a flame.
Oh, yes. No, honestly, I really, in all seriousness, like, that's the word I was trying to go for. Volcarona is literally the only moth that works.
Yeah, literally.
Like, and yes, I've seen Charlie and some other people try and use Frostmoth, and God bless you.
Yeah.
But like stuff like Venomoth, Motham, other moths that probably exist and I'm not remembering.
There's Venomoth could do really good. Right?
Venomoth should do better.
Venomoth,
feel.
Mothim, Iron Moth,
yeah,
and
Sliverwing.
Sliverwing, yeah. I was going to say Punchy Moth.
Yeah, Punchy Moth. Oh, they should have called it that instead of Sliverwing. It should have been called Punchy Moth.
Yeah, and then you got Frostmoth as well. Can
it sound like Mike Tyson? Can the Punchy Moth sound like Mike Tyson? Yeah. Like he's got the lisp,
Float like a Mothim and sting like a Volcarona.
I want you to come over here and let me hit you, because then you can actually feel my pain. Mike Tyson used flame charge.
Yeah, dang.
First impression, Mike Tyson. There we go.
Oh my god! And did you guys hear that? Actually, they recently announced that Jake Paul will be fighting.
Oh god, yeah, I did hear that.
He will be fighting.
Mike Tyson.
No, I was gonna say the moth.
Oh, he's fighting Slivering. He's fighting Punchy Moth.
Next arranged fight, Jake Paul versus
Jake Paul versus Slivering. I mean, Slivering's gonna beat the crap out of him. There's no competition there.
We always say that, but you never know. You might really.
When Jake Paul terrestrializes into like a. to rationalize us out of the fighting type.
We were like, oh well, we had it coming really.
Oh, can you imagine the boxers being like, it's round 6. Jake Paul has finally activated his terror. Sliverwing's gonna have to think about this one.
He's like, I should have gone for that terror bug.
I should have got that terror. Oh, what's this episode has diverted to? Oh dear. Also, actually, I just want to point out, someone in the chat just pointed out as well, Eviolite Venomoth is better than Venonat is better than Venomoth.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Which should not be a thing. I'm sorry, it should not be a thing. Like, Venomoth has such a good shiny as well, and I feel like Venomoth, like, could have easily had the tools to do well. Jake Paul versus Venomoth.
Jake Paul versus Venomoth.
Jake Paul loses to Sliverwing, so he thinks I can beat Venomoth.
I don't get what you say, guys. Venomoth took a dive.
Venomoth took a dive.
He had Eviolite, bro.
Bro, like, he was illegal.
Jake Paul was at +1.
Guys, I checked the EV spread of Jake Paul. He definitely could have OHKO'd him.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed one. It came up.
It's a guaranteed OHKO.
Yeah, with knockoff.
Oh my god, I'm actually dying. Oh my god. I never thought in my wildest dreams this episode would turn into which Pokemon could Jake Paul beat.
That's what the real tier list is.
This is the tier list now. Jake Paul versus Moths.
It looks like a tier list of which moth is the best in VGC, but
this is the tagline for this episode. Like,
what would do best against
VGC Moths versus in boxing. That's the tier list of that's the tagline of this episode. Oh my god, I'm actually in tears. I'm actually in tears. I love it. Jake Paul versus Moths.
Yeah.
Motham just oh my god. Just post-match, Motham comes down to the ring. Motham just grabs the microphone and comes. He's like, Jake Paul, you can't be anyone.
You can't be anyone.
Jake Paul,
you're gonna be a nobody.
Oh my god.
we got.
Oh.
Beedrill in the back, like, yeah.
Yeah, Beedrill's like, yeah.
Yeah, with his drills up in the air. The spin.
Oh, do you remember when we used to talk about VGC?
This is a VGC podcast.
Oh god. If you're liking this, like, share, and subscribe. Follow us for more moth talk. For more moth boxing action.
All the stuff's in the chat.
Oh my god.
And in the description as well.
Oh god. Oh. Sliverwing versus Jake Paul. Make it happen. Iron Moth in there as well.
Oh.
Brilliant.
Just so he goes in the corner during round 3. He's like, he's good. You can take him out, man.
Jake Paul's terrestrializing, folks. Do you think his terrestrialization, he just turns into Logan Paul? Sorry.
We've got to end it.
We have to stop talking about moths. We have to stop talking about moths and Jake Paul.
No. We've lost him.
Jake Paul just makes a TikTok and he's just like, I could beat that moth in my sleep.
You know, he did that Trump thing recently.
Yeah.
He's standing there doing the whole 2-camera thing, and he's like, now the London Corviknights have recently come out to make some very harsh allegations.
Yeah, the London Corviknights have specifically targeted that I can't beat Venomoth in the dark.
He's like, historically, you'll actually see that I've beaten every moth I've ever
beaten every moth that I've come across.
Logan Moth.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm actually crying.
I'm crying.
This might actually be the greatest segment. This might be the greatest segment in Pokemon podcast history. Then Moth versus Jake Paul.
Yeah. Oh.
Right. Oh my god. Right, should we continue?
we still got to keep going.
Where do we even go from there? Oh my god. Oh my god. I might need to actually go on an ad break.
Yeah, should we do that?
I think I might need to go on. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh my god.
Oh,
I'm not going to look at a moth the same way.
no.
Thank you, Venomoth. Thank you, all moths.
Yes.
Volcarona's like the champ, I'm just saying.
This-
Right. So, yes, the moths in Pokemon could do with a bit of an upgrade and not necessarily into the boxing influencer scene.
the side tangent.
Oh my god. Right. Last one. And then we'll finish up because I am dying. The last oh god, okay, right. No, this is bad. Right. Last one. Jinx.
Oh.
I know
Yeah.
Jinx is iconic, and I know Jinx is very controversial and notorious, but it was recently data mined that Jinx was actually supposed to get a Mega Evolution in Gen 6, but they legit couldn't actually decide on the design. Therefore, Mega Jinx was actually pulled. Now, Jinx as a Pokemon is not actually that bad. Like, Psychic Ice is I think is actually quite worthwhile. Like, especially from an offensive-orientated mindset. If you want to put a hyper-offense team together, Psychic Ice actually would be quite good to put on it. You know, I would say it's probably the same argument as Exeggutor at the moment, where Exeggutor doesn't actually look like a very good Pokemon, but because of its ability, Chlorophyll, its speed doubles, and therefore Exeggutor actually is quite worthwhile. Jinx has a very interesting exclusive move in Lovely Kiss. Or is it Lovely Kiss? It is Lovely Kiss, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where it can actually put the opponent to sleep, and it has quite a high accuracy chance. Similar to Sleep Powder with Exeggutor. So my argument is that Jinx and Exeggutor actually act kind of similar in that sense. But Jinx doesn't actually really benefit from anything it does at the moment. Whereas I feel like because of all the Pokemon that have come in, power creeping and all that jazz, Jinx's defenses are also quite terrible.
Yeah.
It would not survive a Jake Paul match. I promise that's the last reference. But yeah, I really think Jinx could do with an evolution because as well, like the Pokemon around it in the Pokedex, stuff like Electabuzz, Cypher, another argument could be Pinsir actually in this conversation. But those Pokemon have been given another evolution, right? Jinx only got really Smoochum. Jinx didn't really get anything, whereas the Pokemon around it got something. So I do feel like, yeah, Jinx could probably do with an evolution, but how would you approach it is the question. Like, would you stick to this hyper offense, quite low defensive sort of Pokemon, or would you give it the stats that could actually make it, you know, more viable? Eevee like Jinx, for example, actually sounds quite all right.
Well, did you see the stats for the theorized Mega Jinx that they actually had laid out?
Oh, no, I didn't, actually.
So it's interesting to know that they do sometimes conceptualize Pokemon in this way. So I always imagine that it started with the art department kind of thing. Like they design them all and then they take the designs they like and then they give them stats.
Yeah.
But it turns out that some Pokemon are actually designed from the other way around. Like they'll conceptualize a Pokemon with a certain stat spread and a typing and they will assign it to something. And they had this idea for Jinx already being a Mega, and it effectively is just like much bulkier Jinx and a bit slower, like the Slowbro treatment.
Yeah.
It turns out it would have had Magic Guard, which is the same as Mega Alakazam, which is not very original, and they could have made it a little bit more unique, but a bulky Psychic type now that was also Ice type. That's quite cool, you know.
Also,
that would be good.
Yeah, sorry, just to add on to what you're saying about a bulky Ice Psychic type, but also could be quite dangerous. Like, expanding Force teams, Spam teams are very popular at the moment. Like, having a Psychic type that also has an Ice type with it actually gives you so much coverage. Like, in my opinion, you know, you could spam Expanding Force, but also, like, if you got, like, for example, a Follow Me Pokemon, you could use the Ice Beam probably to freeze them. Like, Ogerpon Follow Me, for example. Could probably be dealt with. I mean, you know, if they can't be affected by Expanding Force, you still have another stab move that could deal damage to that Pokemon. You know, obviously King Gambit is a different conversation, but that's only because King Gambit is King Gambit. Like, King Gambit is amazing at the moment. You know, Personally, I would love to see a bit more King Gambits using its steel type moves rather than just be pure dark.
Yeah.
But one could dream. Yeah, so I feel like what you're saying is actually probably the best way to go for it. Make it quite a bulky offensive threat. But I mean, yeah, Eevee like Jigs as well actually sounds quite gross.
I like the idea that there's the Sunroom teams where they've got like Psy-Spam plus Sun, and then it could be potentially countered by like a really cool Psy-Snow team.
Yes.
With Mega Jinx instead of like the Delphox or instead of the Armoroost, you know. That would be really cool.
That would be cool, actually. I would be on board with that.
It would also mean that I think that it would imply that, if we go for the slow route or the fast route, it might mean that, what is it called? A Bomber Snow might end up becoming a little bit more
that's so true.
If it ended up having a good synergy with it, or
Yes.
Alolan Ninetales is already really good. But, you get that kind of the Torkoal slow one with the fast Psy-Spam user sometimes, or you go full Trick Room. So,
but that's so true. Like, a Bomber Snow would actually probably get more usage. I mean, because, when was the last time we actually saw a Bomb the Snow taken seriously? Probably right at the beginning of this generation, no?
Yeah, I think it was in B.
Yeah, A, B. Yeah, it was Regulation B, C.
Yeah, but I think people
was probably the last time I saw it.
Messing around with it at that point, yeah.
Yeah, oh, no, yes, because I was using... I remember in Regulation C, I came across it when I had a Mischievous Eviolite team. And it was quite a pain in the ass. Because, Ice types boost defenses, and... I only had iron hands.
Fair.
But honestly, I think a snow room team would be hella interesting to watch.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
That would be really cool to watch.
That sounds like a really fun team. Like,
Doesn't
to have the Psy-Spam in there with the extra bulkiness of the, like, maybe Aurora Veil. Go really say Bartek's team was a really like slow, bulky team with the snow, and I think that his team was really cool. In fact, I showed it to Danny when he was on stream because I was so hyped, and I was like, Danny, I think you'd actually really like this team. I turned it around to her, and she went, "Ooh," because like, it was actually the kind of team that even she would like look at and think,
that's amazing.
That's a fun looking team.
Oh, I hope Danny's well actually as well. Like, I haven't spoken to Danny in a bit, and I do feel bad about it. But like,
she's getting back into the streaming now.
I did see that. Unfortunately, I've not been able to tune in, on the Saturdays. But no, I'm not going to be able to this Saturday either because I'm in London.
It's fair. We'll have a good time in London.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm going to try. But yes, no, I think in general, I would love to see some more like Trick Room teams that takes advantage of weathers. Obviously the Sunroom team is extremely popular because, of course, Torkoal with Hisuian Lilligant works really well. Executor as well works really well in that sort of format. I would love to see like a Rain Room team because I think that would be kind of hilarious to watch. Just be like, oh, you're really slow. Why did you bring out the rain? And they're like, oh, but Trick Room's about to end.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's actually, I like that. That's cool.
And of course, actually, to be fair, we have seen Sand Room, with the Porygon 2 Tyranitar sort of teams running around, which obviously, and to be fair, actually, a plug to Victory Road themselves. If you are interested in looking up teams yourself, Victory Road literally has a massive database full of teams to go look at with rental codes and pastes that you can take yourself, so you can actually look at the EV spread of those teams. Really good stuff, actually. Really worth doing so. I, for one, will be tracking down that Crocodile team.
Yes.
And I will be testing it and giving it a good little go. That is all the Pokemon that I had on my list. I don't know if there was any Pokemon that I've missed or any Pokemon in chat that wants to have a shout. I don't know if there's any there, Barrett, that we can pick.
In chat, we had loads of suggestions.
Oh, nice.
Of people. Like, we had, if I'll go right back up to the top then. So, regular Lilligant was suggested by people at one point. So, I feel like that could be fair, Lilligant. But before that, Short Dread Bread also come up with Cacturne.
Yes.
At one point.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Cacturne's another one of those Pokemon that got that had some stuff to do with it in the leaks. And it used to look very different. It was like almost like tent-like. and it looked very menacing. And I think it would have been really cool if they gave it that as a form or something.
I 100% agree with the Cacturn. I think in terms of Lilligant, I think Lilligant has just been overshadowed by its Ascian variant. But that's not to say Lilligant is bad. I just think Hisuian Lilligant has just, at this moment in time, offered more on the table. So what else have we got?
We've also got here... I just got some of the other points here as well. We got Simipour and company. So the monkeys in general. It's a shame. Yeah, they kind of probably they're a bit of a weird one. I feel like a lot of the Pokemon that we've mentioned are Pokemon that the Pokemon Company even themselves never really wanted to make an effort with. They thought we need something for this game. And they just made it for that game.
I think it's a good argument, though, isn't it? Because I think it's going back to the conversation about early route Pokemon, where it's literally just like, you're going to use this, and then you're just going to forget about it. Which, yeah, I feel like, if I remember correctly, those monkeys are literally used for the first gym, and then you really don't use them again.
Yeah, they are just there. They're kind of just handouts to help you with this one.
It's a gimmick. Like, it's literally a gimmick. Yeah, like, which is a shame. But, you know, the Pokemon Company, but when you create so many Pokemon, there is obviously going to be some, which is the reason of this conversation, there's going to be Pokemon that have been forgotten, which is a shame. But yes, no, honest, probably a good suggestion actually there for the Simipour and company. Is there any others?
So the last one that Big Boy Blue said here as well is Meganium, and I think it's just a matter of time. Really. Yeah, realistically, it's just a matter of time. They'll get around to it.
I think so too.
Just like with the other Gen 2 starters, because I mean, I really think Typhlosion now is actually great. You know, I think the Hisuian Typhlosion, I've been using that team with the Whimsicott for a really long time, and it's been doing really well. To get Meganium to have a similar thing to that, and Feraligatr as well. I think Feraligatr is still a really good Pokemon anyway, but like Meganium definitely needs it. Yes,
because if I remember correctly, Feraligatr is a Sheer Force user, right?
It is, yeah.
So at least it's got that going for it. Whereas Meganium, I don't know. Yeah, you kind of look at Meganium and just think kind of like you're a pure grass type. I think, to be honest, as well, like I think in our first season, we talked about Meganium being quite bad and needing a bit of help. So yeah, I think Meganium could be an argument here as well. Like you're a starter Pokemon, you're a fully evolved starter Pokemon, and you can't take advantage of much.
It's another situation as well where it's like a pure grass type, like we were saying with Carnivine.
Yes.
Where it kind of seems like it really gets in the way, but we know that it can work because we've got Rillaboom over here doing a fantastic job. It just needs to do...
It needs a niche.
It needs something. Yeah.
It needs something to stand out.
I don't know if it's a format problem. It kind of feels like it's kind of faltered in too many formats for it to be considered a format problem.
Yeah. I mean, as well, like if you think about it, like Whimsicott is another Pokemon that, you know, has really benefited by not being a pure grass type, you know, with its pure fairy. But actually, to be fair, I reckon you could make the argument that Whimsicott would be just as good if it was pure grass.
Oh, yeah, I think the fact that it's a fairy type just kind of adds a little bit of like, oh, you could switch to a dragon on this, but then it'll die next turn, so it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. Whimsicott is so fragile. It's I would literally make the argument that Whimsicott is just as fragile as Cryogonal.
That's a Big Boy Blue, like basically just saying chlorophyll, spore, and I genuinely think that would fix Meganium.
Yeah,
if they just give it those two things.
Yeah,
chlorophyll and spore, done.
Yeah, you would literally be just doing the Exeggutor fix.
Yeah, just make it the fastest spore user in the game, and that is actually all it needs to do.
Literally, like 100% agree with those suggestions. Thank you very much to everyone in chat for suggesting those as well. Like I mentioned earlier, if you are listening to this on Spotify and YouTube, first of all, thank you so much for listening to this far into the episode. I hope you enjoyed the moth conversation. But obviously, if you have any suggestions, do let us know in the comment section. But I believe that is the end of tonight's episode. I have nothing else to add unless you do, Barrett.
No, the only one I'll say here is I just have to acknowledge that Pikachu Potter said Flygon really quickly just now. And I think that is like a definite yes. That's like such a classic, needs the work. Can't believe it hasn't come around yet, but 100% agreed.
Yes. Oh, gosh. No, Potter. Pikachu Potter is absolutely correct there. And do you know what? I'm going to throw another Pokemon in the hat here. Claydol.
Oh, yeah. Same kind of situation there.
I was thinking.
A little bit.
Flygon and Claydol. probably needs. It's the same problem, right?
Mm.
They're good-looking designs. They've got good types. Good-looking typing.
Yeah, good look. Good
No,
looking
you got a
dude.
good-looking dragon type there.
Look at the eyes on that clay doll.
But like, yeah, they've got abilities that are useless, and there isn't anything that makes them stand out. Yeah, 100%. Like, Flygon definitely. And to be fair, you got to remember, Flygon was supposed to get a Mega in Gen 6, but they couldn't agree to a design similar to the Jinx. So, you know, who knows? Maybe in the future we are going to see something for Flygon. I 100% think we should, though, because, like, yes, it's a ground dragon type, and Garchomp obviously took its thunder. Like, also, why does a ground type need levitate?
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange. It's almost like they tried to mash together a lot of things. Like, it's a ground and dragon type, but it's a special attacker.
Yeah,
and it gets tailwind.
Yeah,
and it's got levitate. It's like, okay, yeah, that's cool.
On the other hand, the problem I have with Claydol, now thinking about it, is the fact that it's so defensive it can't actually do anything.
Yeah.
Like, whereas you look at stuff like Fortress and other like quite defensive Pokemon that can actually do, like Porygon 2, for example. Like, you know, Claydol should really be another Porygon 2 option. But like even Dusclops has something niche about it, and you know, Claydol's like, I'm here. But Claydol is such a cool design. I love Claydol.
I remember that we made a really good argument that Claydol could be like a great size spam Pokemon as well at one point. Yeah.
Oh, yes, because we made the argument that actually if Claydol was in Generation 9, it would be an amazing Trick Room counter to Iron Hands. Like, because of the fact that it is a special attacker, can take advantage of Psychic Terrain, is quite defensively bulky, can learn Trick Room too. Like, yes. Claydol next to an Amoonguss.
Yeah, I wonder what... that's another one where it's like, when the format comes around, it will come around. It'll have to be another Reg H type situation.
That's
a
Johnny Cash song, isn't it? When the man comes around.
When the format comes around.
When the format comes around. It's just Claydol with a cowboy hat.
And it's really big because he's got such a massive head.
It's amazing.
Up, like, the whole horizon.
Yes. No, honestly, I completely agree with those suggestions as well. Right, let's talk about what the future holds for us, London Corviknight lot. First of all, if you did enjoy this episode, please obviously give us a like, share, and subscribe. If you are interested in joining London Corviknights, we do have a Discord link as well. Those on Spotify, you can just search London Corviknight VGC onto the Discord search bar and you'll be able to find us. Not to mention as well, we are going to be setting up a Blue Sky account for the London Corviknights just to give us a bit more reach. So if you are on Blue Sky, by all means, go ahead and follow us. Or if you're watching this right now, I am getting that done tomorrow. I am really sorry I'm not doing it right now.
Set your alarms.
Set your alarms for, like, I don't know, midday.
Yeah.
I'll try and get that done. Also, special shout out to KDVGC for doing the overlay, as well as Kai for doing the original art for our streams. Do make sure to go follow those people as well. They're absolutely amazing. Thank you so much once again to Barrett for being here with me tonight as my little static assistant.
Thank you so much. And it's great to have you back, Alex. Really.
Oh, honestly, it's so good to be back. It's so good to be back and talking to you all and just talking Pokemon again. It's been too long. Not that, obviously getting married was not... Marriage was actually a very good thing. Like, but, I couldn't sit at the marriage, at my wedding and talk to someone about the optimum EV spread of a pink urchin. couldn't talk to a random guest and just be like, so what's your opinion about sunroom? No, to be fair, if I said that, they'll be like, oh, well, the summer, it gets a bit hot. And it's just, yes, it does.
Yeah.
Like, 252. Like, I missed you all very, very much. And I'm so looking forward to going back on a regular schedule as we're moving forward. Speaking of schedule, next week is LAIC talk. Me and Barrett will obviously be talking about that. But obviously, if you guys have any suggestions, please use the Discord there's a server feedback section. Please use that feedback section if you want to talk about anything to be mentioned into the Late Night Corviknight show. Other than that, I think that is literally it. So before we finish to do the little bonus segment here on the channel, I would like to obviously give a thank you to Barrett. Thank you, Rillaboom, Corviknight, Shapiro, and Incineroar for being in the crowd. I'll see 3 of you at LAIC. Urshifu, you're not invited.
Yeah, sorry, Urshifu. You say it.
Urshifu, you got banned, mate. Go fight Jake Paul.
Give one for me.
Take one for me. But yes, thank you to everyone for being here tonight. See you hopefully next Tuesday. Tuesday, Wednesday-ish. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But much love to you all. Have a good night. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Oh, wait. I need to come up with something for the end of your... Jake Paul cannot beat a moth.